Are you wondering how to pick a perfect university for you? Or simply how to know the best university that suits you? If you guys pick university just because it has a high rank, then you might have been misled. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Lira First. Well, in today's video I'll be talking about some tips or some points that you need to consider before picking a university. While in today's video I'll also be talking in English, fully in English, and actually this is not my first video in English, but then I just think that I don't know why, I need to make more videos in English. So yeah, let's give it a shot. Well, without further ado, let's get into the video. The first thing that you need to consider is the major or the programs. Some universities call it majors, others call it programs. The thing is, you need to really know, you need to be sure about the programs that you're taking. And you also need to consider your passion, your needs, or your interests. For me, studying at university level is quite challenging, and it can be way more challenging if you ignore your cup of tea. So you need to consider what you're really into. Sometimes some majors look similar, but actually they're not. I'll give you an example based on my experience. So my undergraduate background is English education. And when I was applying for a master degree, I found a lot of branches of English, such as English literature, TESOL, ELT or English language teaching, English, which is literally only English, English translations and all that. So yeah, they look similar. They're basically about English, but actually they are different. I myself finally decided to study English language teaching or ELT. And I think if I had picked English literature just because it's also about English, my brain would have been exploded because it's totally different, even though it's also about English. Simply it's not my cup of tea, so I wouldn't take that. If you're picking a university, you need to consider about this, about the major, about your program, and make sure that you know every details of the major. After considering the first point, you might have found some universities that offer the program you're interested in. You might have 4 or 5 universities in your list, and what you need to consider next is the modules or the subjects. And of course, not the rank of the uni. Why? Because what you're gonna face intensively is the modules or the subjects, not the rank of the university. So you need to be really sure about this. These subjects as well, you'll be learning some theories or new principles from the experts. You need to really be able to comprehend new theories and also new principles or some debatable issues, some current issues, and of course you're also assessed based on your understanding on the subjects. That's why you need to really consider the subjects, make sure that the subjects you are taking suit you, also suit your needs, suit your passion. So you need to really consider this one. And actually it's easy for you to find some information on this because it's available on the website. I think it's also very likely that your study will be so challenging if you ignore the subjects during the process of deciding the university that suits you. And remember that it's also very likely that some less high-ranked university will offer better subjects for you. So it's not necessarily that high-ranked universities always offer better or even the best program for you or the best subjects for you. No, you need to really see and also check the website. You need to really understand every detail of the programs. Third, what you need to consider next is opportunities. Unlike the previous point, the highest ranked universities in the world do not always offer the best opportunity for you. So it depends on the program. Again, take my friend's experience as an example. My friend was accepted by some universities in the UK to study optical physics. And she considered 2 universities. One of them is in London and another is in Southampton. And the one in London has a higher rank than the one in Southampton. But then finally she chose University of Southampton because this university offers her the opportunity to work in a laboratory. And this opportunity to work in an optical laboratory is considered beneficial for her career. Well guys, there are also other opportunities that you need to consider during the process of picking a university, such as internship or field practice or even some projects in other countries. So you need to really consider about this. Again, we cannot take it for granted that universities with higher rank will always offer better opportunities. No, we cannot take it for granted. The next thing that you need to consider is the country. Why country does matter? Because it relates to the culture you'll be living in. Of course, it's gonna be so stressful if you cannot immerse in a new environment, in a new culture, and you can be stressful just because you feel that you don't fit the culture, or you don't find it easy to make friends just because you think that you're too different, and any other factor. So you need to really consider the country, make sure that you're gonna be comfortable living there, living in the country, and it's like your dream country to live. I think it's also possible for you to get homesick easily just because the country that you're living in is actually not the country that you're dreaming. So yeah, you need to consider about the country as well. In my opinion, the country that we choose to study can also contribute to the success of our study, so be careful about this. Number 5, we need to check the university levels. What I mean by this is the academic grouping system, such as in the USA we know Ivy League, and in the UK we know Russell Group. It's because the universities that involved in these labels are more likely to have world-class facilities and also qualities, so you don't need to be worried about their credibility, their quality. It's already good. Next, number 6, you need to consider the city you're gonna live in. Not only the country, you also need to consider this, you also need to consider the city because it really matters. Some people might have personal preference on this, such as me. I myself prefer living in a non-urban city, like Southampton, the city where I took my master's degree. I also couldn't imagine if I had lived in an urban city like London, which is so busy and also crowded. Well, the last thing that you need to consider is the university ranks. I put this in the last of my tips because I think the more other things or other points which are more important, which are more worth considering instead of only the rank of the university. So yeah, you shouldn't make it as the highest priority for you in choosing a university. You may consider about the rank, but be sure that you also prioritize the program and also the subjects or the modules or the units, and also the opportunities that you will get during your study. And I think those points are more worth considering than the rank. You may also consider the rank, but remember that university ranks are quite fluctuative. Well, I think that's all from me about some points that you need to consider before picking a university. Well, good luck for your study. See you on my next video.